Here are some signs on how to tell if your glue is good for use both during services, the little glue dot that you're using during services, and your glue bottle in general. It's really important that we look out for these 4 signs in order to make sure that our glue is always working at its very best. That's going to keep those clients around for much, much longer. Number 1, your glue will show goopy or stringy. So this means both on your palette while you're working, that means your little glue dot, on your palette while working. Once you dip it in the beginning, it should be perfect, and then after a while it may get goopy or stringy. This means it is time to switch up your glue dot. Doesn't necessarily mean it's time to switch up your bottle, but you definitely want to switch up that glue dot. Now, sometimes I will get a whole service out of a glue dot and it's amazing. And other times I'll only get 10 to 15 minutes and then I'll have to switch it up consistently. This is not necessarily something that you're doing wrong. It's just maybe your humidity, your temperature, and even if you have those on point, sometimes that glue dot can act a little bit funky. There may be certain chemicals in your room, like from cleaning your bathroom or whatever, that are seeping into the room and it can just act a little bit weird. So know that this is totally normal. And then when it comes to our glue bottle, the same thing applies. So if your glue bottle is always giving you dots of glue that are just immediately stringy and tacky, it's time to switch that up. So if that happens, make sure that you order a brand new glue because you're not going to get that really good retention that you're used to from your bottle, and it just may be past its time. Number 2, if you have experienced that beautiful magnetic attraction that you've experienced from a glue before, and that no longer happens, that usually means that all the components are maybe not either being mixed together properly or you've used all that good stuff up. So you're not gonna get that really good magnetic bond that you're used to. If this happens, switch up your glue. It is time for a new one. And of course, if it's related to humidity or temperature, you always have to check that. So I'm not gonna bring up humidity and temperature anymore because I think I've made it clear that it's super important that you check those things first. But we really want that magnetic bond. So if we're not experiencing that and we used to, then we really need that. So we're gonna make sure that we switch up our glue so that we always have that. Number 3, your glue is past its expiry. Okay. So this is a tricky one because most companies have an expiry of their glue once open, and we do too here at Lost Artistry. It's 3 months. That's the longest that your glue is gonna last. We always suggest switching it up after that point, but that doesn't mean that your glue is always gonna last that amount of time. So at our salon, we always switch up our glues every month and a half, no matter what. This always makes sure that we're offering our clients the best possible service and retention. That's just how we do it. If you find your glue always lasts and does that magnetic, beautiful bond up until 3 months, that's great. You can absolutely keep your glue for as long as it will work well for you. But it is definitely a good time to switch it up at that 3-month mark, or you're gonna eventually end up with, like I've said, poor retention or some kind of issues like that. So a good way to do that and make sure that you never reach that expiry and that you order your glue with enough time that you're not all of a sudden rushing for it and needing it the next day is by putting a little piece of tape on your glue with just the very end date. So you know you have to switch your glue up by whatever that date is. It's a really good reminder so you can know how old or how fresh your glue is. Number 4, if we get glue stuck in our nozzle, we're not gonna be able to use our glue. We're gonna have to get a brand new bottle. So how we can avoid that is by taking precaution every single time that we use our glues. So your glue should have come with this fancy little tip. And this tip will have this little pointy, almost pin-like thing inside. And what we're gonna do with that pin is put it right into the tip of our bottle after we've burped our glue. What that pin is gonna do is make sure that the nozzle doesn't get clogged, because if we clog our bottle, it's not gonna be usable and you'll have to get a brand new bottle. And your glue won't act the same as it did before. Same thing, you'll experience negative things like your glue curing too fast and all that good stuff just because of all that yucky cured stuff that's in the nozzle. So always make sure that that stays nice and clean.